For today's headlines, government focused on pandemic, economic recovery. Revenge vacation seen in March according to Concepcion. Caliodi trends on Twitter. Cagayan governor recalls Davao aid. Taiwan allows more than 1,000 foreign teachers. Yuka hits town, stays at number 7. Canada sending lethal weapons to Ukraine. Good morning, I am Venice Bautista and this is Tribune News on Q. Today is February 16, 2022, and these are the latest news of this Wednesday morning. With less than 5 months left to President Rodrigo Duterte's term, Senator Christopher Bongo assured the government remains focused on maintaining the forward momentum of the COVID-19 response and laying the groundwork for an inclusive economic recovery this year. The lawmaker remarked that the president is determined to work hard to serve the Filipino people until his final day in the office. He urged voters to consider the nation's best interest by electing leaders who will build on the progress made under the Duterte administration. As chair of the Senate Committee on Health, Go commended the president's strong leadership, noting that the Department of Health recently relegated the status of most parts of the country to either low or moderate risk for COVID-19. He particularly praised the government's vaccination efforts, and this was partly made possible through an aggressive information campaign that helped bring down vaccine hesitancy levels among the adult Filipinos from 33% in May to just 8% in December last year, according to social weather station surveys. Go noted that the vaccines have proven to be safe and effective in reducing one's risk of getting severely sick or dying of COVID-19. According to the DOH, low-risk areas in the country have an attack daily rate of less than 1 per 100,000 people, whereas moderate-risk areas have a rate of 1 to 7. Meanwhile, total bed occupancy and intensive care unit usage rates in all areas are at low to moderate risk. The national health system's capacity is in a sound state. Deprived of their summer vacation the last 2 years due to the pandemic, netizens are expected to have their revenge vacation in March, according to Presidential Advisor for Entrepreneurship Joey Concepcion, as he pitched for a de-escalation to the lowest alert level to give families such an opportunity. During the Laging Handa public briefing Tuesday, Concepcion emphasized that March is the beginning of the summer period where most families and groups of friends are making out-of-town escapades, and that's why ease restrictions are the answer for them to enjoy their vacation. Moreover, he said that provinces may maintain the alert levels 2 or 3 if the positivity rate is still high, but in the National Capital Region, where COVID cases are plummeting, then March would be the best time to de-escalate to the lowest alert status. Records from the Philippine Statistics Authority's 2020 Philippine Tourism Satellite accounts showed that inbound tourism with non-resident visitors earned 132.59 billion pesos in 2020, lower by 77.9% compared to the previous year's 600.08 billion pesos, and while tourism expenditure went down in 2020 from its 34.7% increase in 2019, noting that all industries in the inbound tourism sector suffered a decline in 2020, with the miscellaneous industry recording the largest decline at negative 80.5%, followed by travel agencies and other reservation services at negative 80.4%, and entertainment and recreation services and accommodation services for visitors at negative 80.2%. Presidential bet Caliodi de Guzman trended on Twitter on Wednesday morning, February 16, after attending the debate organized by SMNI Media Network owned by Pastor Apollo Kibuloy. Caliodi garnered 61.9 thousand tweets and ranked number 3 on Philippines trends. Aside from Caliodi, former Senator Bongbong Marcos, former presidential spokesperson Ernie Abella, and former Defense Chief Gonzalez also participated in the debate. Tribune News on Q will be back after these reminders. We are back on Tribune News on Q. In other news, Cagayan Governor Manuel Mamba said he could not forget how Davao City sent relief assistance for the people of Tuguegarao City who were affected by disasters. The province was devastated by Super Typhoon Lawin in 2016, Typhoon Ompong in 2018, and Typhoon Ulysses in 2020. And in all of these disasters, Mamba said the Davao City government sent help. Mamba also recalled that President Rodrigo Duterte visited them when disasters hit the province. The governor said although he did not support Duterte in the presidential elections in 2016, he saw for himself President Duterte's passion to serve. The governor also said the Chico River Pump Irrigation Project, a build project of the Duterte administration, will open in March or April this year. The 4.3 billion peso project is financed by China and is eyed to benefit more than 4,000 former families in Cagayan and Kalinga provinces and irrigate more than 8,000 hectares of farmlands. If she wins, Sara has vowed to continue Duterte's administration's Build program. Taiwan's Ministry of Education, or MOE, on Tuesday, February 15, said that over 1,000 foreign teachers who have been hired by Taiwanese institutions but failed to enter the country due to the COVID-19 pandemic can now apply. In a statement, MOE added a total of 1,156 overseas educators were granted a permit to teach in Taiwan for the 2021 academic year. The intensified border controls, however, have stalled their entry into Taiwan. With the influx of Lunar New Year returnees easing, the individuals are allowed to proceed with their career plans in the country. They will be required to provide a negative PCR test within 2 days prior to their flight and prove they're fully vaccinated, among other COVID rules. The foreign personnel will be working at non-tertiary schools as part of the country's ambition to go bilingual, but not limited to English education, according to a MOE official. They will constitute just a portion of the country's growing foreign faculty, including experts employed by local governments. Principals Association of ROC President Chang Shin-woo said most of the foreign teachers will be conducting classes at junior high schools in language and other subjects such as art and sports. For the longer term, Chang believes more effort should be invested in nurturing local talent in bilingual education for the campaign to succeed, per UDN. Reigning U.S. Women's Open champion Yuka kept her spot at number 7 in women's golf for the third straight week, although she would happily trade her world ranking for more victories when the Ladies Professional Golf Association, or LPGA, tour resumes with a couple of Southeast Asian tournaments next month. And with a long break before the tour resumes for the Women's World Championship in Singapore and in the Honda LPGA Thailand in early March, she took the time to head back to Manila first and pay a visit to her relatives, friends, and supporters whom she had not seen for a long while. 2 years after embarking on a pro mission with a lot of promise, the many-time former spearhead of the national team is back with a major championship and a world top 10 ranking, not to mention 2 victories on the LPGA of Japan tour when it all started. Saso arrived Tuesday from Dallas in the United States, which made her based as an LPGA campaigner with a 5-year exempt status. She graciously asked that she'd been given time to rest before granting any interviews, even as she looked forward to meeting the media in a press conference being arranged early next week. The ICTSI-backed ace stunned the golf world by bagging the U.S. Women's Open crown in June 2021 at the Olympic Club in San Francisco, becoming the first player of Filipino heritage to win a major. Tribune News on Cue will be back. Stay with us. You are still watching Tribune News on Cue. For our world news, Canada is sending lethal military weaponry to Ukraine and loaning Kyiv Canadian dollars $500 million to help defend itself in the face of Russian aggression, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced Monday. Trudeau told a news conference that in light of the seriousness of the situation and following conversations with Ukrainian, he approved the provision of $7.8 million Canadian dollar worth of lethal equipment and ammunition. He said that this responds to Ukraine's specific request and is in addition to the non-lethal equipment they have already provided, adding that the intent of this support from Canada and other partners is to deter further Russian aggression. In addition, the Prime Minister said Ottawa would provide more loans to Ukraine, bringing the total announced since the beginning of the year to $620 million Canadian dollars or $490 million US dollars. Western allies have prepared what they warn would be a crippling package of economic sanctions in response to any attack, although Moscow has repeatedly said it has such no plans. Recent Russian military exercises, including with Belarus, where the United States said Moscow had dispatched 30,000 troops for more than a week of drills, have caused rising concern. Canada, which is home to a large Ukrainian diaspora, has ordered its military trainers out of Ukraine and closed its embassy in Kyiv temporarily. Some 200 Canadian soldiers have been deployed in Ukraine since 2015 as part of the Unifier mission, aimed at contributing to the training of Ukrainian forces. And that wraps up the stories this morning. But before we go, we would like to thank the SM Store, our data center, Department of Tourism, MG Motors, Hida Motors Security Bank, Empire East Land Holdings Incorporated, and Overseas Community Affairs Council member Alan Lin of Republic of China for their continued support. Again, this is Venice Bautista on Tribune News on Cue. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay at home. Good morning.
Catch the latest news on our website, tribune.net.ph. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tribune Now. Download the Daily Tribune app on Apple Store for iOS and Google Play for Android to get the latest and most comprehensive news online. Daily Tribune invites you to join its Viber community, Katribu, to get updates on the hottest news on politics, business, sports, lifestyle, and entertainment. Emoticons of the Tribune mascot Tarsito are available on our community Viber.